My dear friend, the Noble Eightfold Path is not what you may have thought, or what you might have heard online. It is not about abandoning ambition, withdrawing from the world, or living a life of hardship. On the contrary, it is a complete system that helps you master yourself while facing the challenges of everyday life. The Buddha did not teach people to escape life. He taught us how to face it, how to transform it through wisdom and right action. Remember this, you don't need to give up anything. You simply need to understand and practice correctly. The Eightfold Path is not a dry philosophy. It is a practical toolkit that you can apply to your work, your family, and your own personal growth. When you truly understand and practice it, the Eightfold Path gives you enough heart to live kindly, enough vision to see far ahead, and enough skill to turn your dreams into reality. Think of it this way. Instead of letting family or relationship conflicts drag on endlessly, you can use right speech, gentle, skillful words that resolve problems and build deeper understanding. Instead of chasing quick money in ways that harm others, you can apply right livelihood building wealth in a sustainable and ethical way. These principles do not ask you to abandon anything. They help you shape a way of living that is aligned with reality, so you never lose yourself in the process. In truth, most of the failures and suffering we experience come from not being able to master ourselves, from not knowing what we truly want, from not knowing how to manage the constant influences of the outside world. Without heart, you get carried away by negative emotions. Without vision, you lose direction. And without skill, you cannot turn ideas into action. The Eightfold Path helps you take back control, not by changing the outside world, but by changing how you perceive it and how you act within it. It does not force you to give up your life. It simply teaches you to live more wisely, more harmoniously, and more effectively. In this episode, we will explore together the true meaning of the Noble Eightfold Path, a system not for abandoning life, but for mastering it. We will learn how to apply its 8 principles into the most practical areas of life: work, family, and personal development, not just to overcome adversity, but to live a life that is whole, balanced, and deeply meaningful. If you've heard about the Eightfold Path before, but never truly understood its value, or if you are searching for a way to take ownership of your life, then join me on this journey, right here, right now. Because the Eightfold Path is often misunderstood as a path meant only for monks, requiring complete withdrawal from worldly life in order to find inner peace. But that is not true. This system is not in conflict with modern life at all. In fact, it is the very tool that allows us to live in the modern world without losing ourselves. The Noble Eightfold Path is here to help you live a balanced, meaningful life and to break through the limits you place upon yourself. One common misconception is that Buddhism is against aspiration. But in truth, the Buddha himself was the ultimate symbol of great aspiration, the aspiration for enlightenment, not just for himself, but for the liberation of all humanity from suffering. The Eightfold Path does not tell you to abandon your dreams or ambitions. Instead, it guides you to pursue the right kind of aspirations, those not twisted by greed or selfishness. In our modern world, aspiration is the driving force behind learning, growth, and contribution. As long as your dreams do not harm yourself or others, they are not only valid, they are essential. The Eightfold Path is not a call to withdraw from life. It is a way to master it. When you realize that letting go means releasing negativity, that aspirations need direction, and that your work must be aligned with ethics, you begin to see that this path is not just a philosophy. It is a compass, a guide, that helps you live with balance, peace, and meaning in today's complex world. Modern life is full of contradictions, pressures, and suffering. Too often, we blame circumstances, complain about what is beyond our control, or try to escape reality through temporary pleasures. But the real issue is not the outside world. It lies in how you perceive and respond to it. What happens in your mind is the root of how you experience life. This is where right view comes in. It teaches us that reality is not a fixed picture. Reality is shaped by how you interpret it in your mind. Think about it. The same situation can be experienced in completely different ways. A person looking through the lens of fear will see only danger. Someone blinded by arrogance will ignore the truth. And someone overwhelmed by negative emotions will see everything in a gloomy shade of gray. Right view helps you realize that the way you see the world determines everything. More importantly, it teaches you to remove distorted lenses and see things as they truly are. This is the very first step to transforming your reality. It is like resetting your compass so you can move in the right direction. When you understand that every choice and every action carries long-term consequences, you stop blaming others or the world. Instead of reacting impulsively with raw emotions, you learn to analyze situations at their root and act based on truth, not just on what you want to believe. Consider this. A person's failure in their career is rarely due to a lack of talent. More often, it is because they refuse to recognize and improve their own weaknesses. They might blame their colleagues, their boss, or even the market, but Right View reminds them, start with yourself. Instead of wasting time complaining, Right View teaches you to focus on what you can actually control, improving your skills, adjusting your attitude, or changing your methods. This is how true transformation happens. Practicing Right View is not about becoming passive. It is about becoming deeply responsible. It is about understanding that your inner perception shapes your outer reality. And once you shift the way you see, you naturally shift the way you live. The Eightfold Path is not a one-time lesson, it is a continuous journey, a journey of refining how you see the world. For when your perception is right, it doesn't just shape your actions, it reshapes your entire life. Let's talk about right thought. Right thought is not simply about thinking positively. It is the ability to reflect deeply, clearly, and wisely so that your actions naturally move in a better direction. It doesn't ask you to deny difficulties or dream of an idealized reality. Instead, it requires you to face every challenge with clarity and courage. Obstacles are not barriers meant to stop you. They are opportunities to understand yourself more deeply and to transform hardship into strength. A key part of right thought is critical thinking, the ability to question, to analyze, and to challenge the assumptions you often take for granted. Right thought does not mean passively accepting everything that happens. It means examining whether your own thoughts are being shaped by bias, by negative emotions, or by one-sided perspectives. Imagine this. You find yourself trapped in the endless cycle of work, feeling drained and empty, unable to find meaning. Right thought invites you to pause and ask, why am I doing this work? Is it truly aligned with my core values? Instead of blindly following habits or external pressures, right thought helps you stop, readjust, and choose a path that fits your life's direction. Work then becomes more than just a way to make money. It becomes a place where you can grow and contribute. Right thought also teaches you to see every situation with balance between reason and emotion. It frees you from extremes. You no longer fall into the trap of being overly pessimistic about failure, nor blindly obsessed with success. Instead of focusing on what lies beyond your control, you learn to redirect your energy toward self-improvement and doing your best in the present moment. And here is something important. Right thought is not just a short-term tool. It is a compass, a long-term guide that keeps you on the right path. A correct way of thinking not only helps you solve immediate problems, but also builds a strong foundation for greater achievements ahead. Right thought is not a fixed state. It is a continuous process of self-reflection and adjustment, making sure every action, every decision is aligned with your values and your true purpose. When you cultivate right thought, no challenge becomes meaningless. Every experience, even painful ones, turns into raw material for growth, helping you become the best version of yourself. Now, let us move to right speech. Right speech is more than advice about telling the truth or avoiding lies. It is the art of using words to create positive value for yourself and for those around you. Because words, no matter how small, always carry great power. A single word, spoken at the right time and in the right way, has the power to heal a relationship, uplift someone's spirit, and build trust. On the other hand, careless words can cause deep wounds, destroy connections, and erase respect. Right speech teaches us to control our words not out of force, but out of awareness. Every word we speak carries an impact. Before saying anything, ask yourself, is this necessary? Will it be helpful to the listener? This simple reflection makes your words more meaningful, while helping you avoid unnecessary conflict in daily life. Right speech also calls for skillfulness. Sometimes, the truth should not be delivered harshly, but with empathy and sincerity. For example, when giving feedback, instead of criticizing, choose words that allow the other person to feel your goodwill. The right words do not just help others change, they also make you a person who is respected and cherished. It also reminds us to stay away from destructive speech, lying, exaggerating, gossiping, or spreading negativity. These habits not only hurt others but also disturb your own peace of mind. When your words become pure and sincere, you will feel a sense of inner lightness and calm. Practicing right speech is not just about living better, it is about creating a positive environment around you. With gentle and truthful words, you can connect with others more deeply, build lasting relationships, and inspire people to grow together. Right speech is not only about what you say, it also teaches you to think before you speak. And in that reflection, you become a better listener, a skill more precious than most people realize. Now, let's turn to right action. Right action is a reminder that every action you take leaves an imprint not only in your own life, but also in society. It's not simply about avoiding what is wrong. It's about actively choosing to do what is right actions that create value for yourself and for the community. Right action helps you see that every decision, every behavior, no matter how small, is a brick that builds the road of your life. Actions are not just measured by external standards of morality. They must also come from mindfulness and awareness. This means asking yourself, is what I am doing truly right? Does it harm anyone, including myself? Because an action that is dishonest, harmful, or selfish may bring short-term benefit, but in the long run, it destroys both you and those around you. A life built on lies, exploitation, or self-centeredness will never bring true peace. Real peace can only come from actions rooted in integrity and compassion. Right action is not only about avoiding harmful behaviors like stealing, cheating, or causing injury. It also encourages you to act with kindness and purpose. Think about it. Rather than focusing only on your own personal gain, you can choose to help others, even in small ways. Offering a hand to someone in need or sharing knowledge with someone who can benefit. These small actions, when done with sincerity, create positive energy that spreads outward and leaves a lasting impact. Right action also requires courage. In life and in work, you may face temptations chasing profit at any cost, or sacrificing your values for short-term reward. Right action becomes your compass, guiding you to remain steadfast in choosing the ethical path. Remember, even one small but right choice today can bring profound and lasting results in the future. Practicing right action is like planting good seeds into the soil of your life. These seeds grow into respect, love, and inner peace. It is not a distant ideal, it is a reminder that every action carries meaning, and every right action contributes to a life that is complete and worth living. And this leads us to right livelihood. Right livelihood reminds us that the way we earn a living is not just about money. It shapes our character and gives meaning to our lives. Work is not only a tool for survival, but also a reflection of your values and your essence. A livelihood rooted in honesty does more than sustain your body, it nourishes your spirit. It brings peace of mind because deep down you know you are contributing something of value rather than causing harm. So ask yourself, during the hours you spend working, are you building a career you can feel proud of, or are you compromising your conscience for material gain? Right livelihood does not demand that you become a hero, nor does it ask you to abandon ambition. Instead, it teaches you to ask, does my work align with my values? Does it harm anyone in the process? This simple awareness is the first step to creating a life that balances both material needs and spiritual fulfillment. Right livelihood is not about finding the perfect job, it is about choosing a path that you can look back on with pride. When you work with integrity, without deceit or harm, you don't just build a sustainable career, you also create a positive environment for yourself and those around you. But if you choose a dishonest path, even if it brings quick rewards, the long-term consequences will always return both in your inner peace and in your outer life. Practicing right livelihood ensures that your work is not only a source of income, but also a source of meaning. It gives you the chance to build a life that is both prosperous and deeply fulfilling. When you earn your living in an honest way, the rewards are not only financial, you also gain peace of mind and the respect of those around you. Choosing to live rightly is not always easy, but it is the only path to building a life that is steady, strong, and worthy of pride. Now let's move to right effort. Right effort is not about rushing without rest, nor throwing yourself blindly into endless work. Instead, it is a reminder that effort only has true meaning when it is directed along the right path, helping you move closer to your goals without sacrificing your health, your peace of mind, or your core values. Right effort teaches you this truth. Success is not about doing more, but about doing what truly matters with persistence and awareness. Proper effort begins with clarity of purpose. When you focus on what genuinely holds value, every moment of energy you invest creates results worth keeping. On the other hand, blind effort without direction will only lead you astray, leaving you exhausted and disconnected from meaning. This means you should not throw yourself into work while ignoring your health or your well-being. Practicing right effort also means not letting adversity defeat you. Life will always place obstacles in your way. What truly matters is how you respond. Instead of giving up when difficulties come, you learn to see them as opportunities for growth and self-mastery. Right effort does not demand perfection overnight. It teaches you to move forward in small, steady steps, consistent and mindful, so that every ounce of effort builds lasting progress. But effort does not mean overworking or burning out. Right effort reminds you that perseverance can only last when both your body and your mind are well nourished. That is why, instead of pushing yourself past the limit, you must learn to rest at the right time, to take care of yourself, so that every step forward is filled with clarity and inner strength. Right effort is the energy that helps you overcome laziness, procrastination, and the limits you place upon yourself. It does not turn life into a race that leaves you drained. Instead, it allows you to walk steadily focused, balanced, and at peace. And once effort in the right direction becomes a habit, you will realize something important. Success is not the final destination. Success is the progress you make every single day along the path you have chosen. Right effort not only transforms your results, it transforms you. This naturally brings us to right mindfulness. Right mindfulness is not an escape from reality. It is the art of living fully in each present moment. In a world full of distractions, where the mind is constantly pulled toward future worries or trapped in the shadows of the past, mindfulness gently calls you back to the present. The only place where life truly happens, and the only place where you can actually act, change, and live. Let's talk about something that many of us tend to overlook in our busy lives: mindful awareness and right concentration. Mindfulness teaches us that being aware of the present moment is not just about focusing. It is about feeling deeply everything that is happening around us, without judgment. It's the ability to observe your emotions, your thoughts, and even your actions with clarity, instead of being unconsciously carried away by them. When you practice mindfulness, you are no longer controlled by the noise and chaos of the mind. Instead, you begin to master your own feelings and actions. One important part of mindfulness is learning to slow down, so that you can see the hidden value in the simplest things. It could be as ordinary as enjoying a cup of coffee without reaching for your phone, or listening to a friend share their story without distractions. Mindfulness does not ask you to change the outside world. Instead, it transforms how you experience the world, moving you from a shallow way of living into one filled with depth and meaning. In difficult situations, mindfulness becomes your anchor. It helps you stay calm so you don't react with sudden bursts of anger or stress. Instead of letting emotions control you, mindfulness gently reminds you to pause, breathe, and become aware of what is truly happening. In that space, you don't just solve problems more effectively, you also protect the balance and peace of your mind. Mindfulness is not only a skill to handle pressure, it is a way of connecting more deeply with yourself and with life itself. When you live mindfully, you start to see the true value of each moment, and you create a life where you are fully present, fully awake to your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Now, let's talk about right concentration, what in Buddhist practice is called Chánh. Concentration is not something you gain after a few hours of meditation or by escaping reality. It is the art of maintaining focus and inner stillness even in the midst of life's chaos. Right concentration teaches us that a calm mind is not just a place of peace, it is also the foundation for making wise and accurate decisions. A restless mind, on the other hand, is easily swept away by anger, anxiety, or greed. And when the mind is clouded, we often make impulsive choices, leading to mistakes that could have been avoided. Through right concentration, you free yourself from this inner turbulence. You become like a mountain standing strong in the middle of a storm, unmoved by the winds of outside circumstances. But let me be clear, practicing right concentration does not mean abandoning your work or running away from daily life to hide in silence. Instead, it encourages you to bring clarity and awareness into everything you do, whether you are working, communicating, or facing challenges. When you cultivate concentration, your mind no longer wanders aimlessly. You stay rooted in the present, steady and focused. And in that state, every action you take carries power, purpose, and alignment with who you truly are. This is the gift of mindfulness and right concentration, the power to live with presence, clarity, and peace, even while standing in the very heart of life's storms. Clarity and mindfulness are not just abstract concepts. They are the foundation for living with balance and strength. Right concentration is one of the keys that helps you face pressure and stress effectively. In moments when you feel overwhelmed by heavy workloads or endless worries, right concentration teaches you to pause, breathe deeply, and focus only on what truly matters. This shift in awareness allows unnecessary stress to dissolve. A concentrated and steady mind becomes the base on which you maintain harmony, not only in your work, but also in your personal life. And here's something deeper. Right concentration is not just about staying calm. It opens the door to a sharper awareness of life itself. When your mind is settled and clear, you begin to see the true nature of problems. From this clarity, you make wiser choices free from the grip of impulsive emotions. Understand this: right concentration is not a final destination. It is a journey, a practice that strengthens your inner power. With it, you gradually learn to master every part of your life. When you cultivate concentration, you don't just find peace, you also develop insight and resilience, qualities that help you rise above every challenge that comes your way. This brings us to the greater path, the Noble Eightfold Path. It is not simply a collection of ethical guidelines or lofty philosophy. It is a compass, guiding you to master yourself amid the chaos of everyday life. The 8 aspects: right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration are more than teachings. They are tools. They show you how to live with integrity, align your mind and heart, and let go of destructive emotions such as anger, greed, and attachment. Right view and right intention sharpen your way of thinking. Right speech helps you use words to heal, not harm. Right action and right livelihood ground your choices in honesty. Right effort keeps you moving in the right direction. Right mindfulness and right concentration protect your inner clarity, allowing every step you take to be steady and purposeful. These practices are not about abandoning your current life or making radical changes overnight. Instead, they begin with small, consistent actions, choosing your words carefully, pausing before reacting, directing your energy toward what matters most. Step by step, these habits build a deep strength inside you, and over time, they lead you to true peace and fulfillment. Life, after all, is a journey of transformation. The Noble Eightfold Path is the bridge that takes you to inner freedom, peace, and happiness. And the beautiful truth is this: these treasures are not far away. They are already within your reach, waiting for you to embrace them. If today's reflection has brought you value, I invite you to share your support. Give this podcast a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you won't miss the next episode. Share it with your loved ones, and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, may you stay clear-minded, resilient, and filled with positive energy on your journey to mastering life.